Today is day number 1 of our Dragster activity, and like we normally do, we are going to be working on some vocabulary. There are terms that we need to understand before we move on with the project, and so we want to make sure we're all on the same page so that when these words get brought up and used throughout this project that we know what we're talking about. As you're defining your words, you want to make sure that your words or that your definitions are in your own words. Don't just copy and paste definitions, because oftentimes they're too long. They have parts of their meaning that don't make sense, or they just mean the wrong thing. And so we want to make sure that we find definitions that make sense, that fit within the context of, and in this case, dragsters, cars, aerodynamics. We want to fit within that context, and so it makes the words more meaningful to us if we can define them in our own words. On the screen, you see the words that you're going to be defining today: aerodynamics, force, specification, thumbnail sketch, wheelbase, axle, speed, velocity, turbulence, downforce, scale, and analysis. And as we begin this project, our essential question is, what do I already know about aerodynamics? So as we go into this, a lot of us already have background knowledge. What is that background knowledge? What do we know about what makes cars fast and aerodynamics? And so that should be in the back of your mind, and that's our essential question, which we should have an answer to today. What do you already know about aerodynamics? So at this point, let's pause the video and open up your design notebook. All right, design notebook is open. And the first thing we want to do, as always, is put our names on our document. So we want to make sure that you get credit for what you're doing. So up here in the heading where it says name, make sure you put your name there. Again, any work that you do, you want to get credit for it. And so we want to know who this belongs to. Our color coding, again, anything that you see with a blue background is a must do. Anything with the orange background is a should do. And then the pink are those things that you go above and beyond. Those are the things that we should all aspire to do. So today is day number 1. So as a class, you have kind of gone over this new design notebook already. So our homework here is to complete the vocabulary terms, and like we said before, we want to make sure that we're using our own words as we define these terms. So let's click on day number 1, click on the bookmark, and that will drop us right down to day number 1. So make sure you set a goal for yourself. What would you like to accomplish? What would you like to learn today? Give yourself something to work towards. And then you see our essential question: what do I know about aerodynamics? So I already know what, fill in this blank. And aerodynamics is how air moves and interacts around solid objects. That's the definition of aerodynamics. So moving on, we have our vocabulary terms down here. So aerodynamics is already done for us. Aerodynamics is the way that air moves and interacts around solid objects. So if you have a solid object like this white wing or, part of a car, it's how the air flows and moves around that object. Because if you think back to science class, what you know in science class about atoms and molecules is that no two pieces of matter, no two atoms or molecules can occupy the same space. And so air molecules and the object, the solid object that the air is moving around, can't occupy the same space. So if something is traveling through the air molecules have to move out of the way. All right, and how does that happen? That's the definition. That's what the study of that is aerodynamics. Okay, you see the next words: force, specification, thumbnail sketch, wheelbase, axle, speed, velocity, and then you should define turbulence, downforce, scale, and analysis as well, because those are terms that are going to come up throughout this project. Okay, you can see most of these are must-do definitions. You should also take advantage of the time that you have and define those ones with the orange backgrounds as well. We gave you a link here to a dictionary definition. The dictionary definition is good because these are usually simpler definitions than if you just Google a term and get something off Wikipedia. So if I click on that, I get aerodynamics. It tells me the definition, what it is right here. If there are multiple definitions, remember to look or think about the context of what we are studying before you decide which definition you should write down. Change them around so you can put them into your own terms so that you understand what the definition is saying. This dictionary website is nice because it has different things that you can explore. Did you know kind of where aerodynamics comes from? Some just interesting information. So we would encourage you to explore these terms as you look them up as well. Once you are ready to define another word, all you need to do in the search bar up here is just type in the next word, like force. And there you get the definition right there. And again, force has a lot of different definitions, so make sure that you are thinking about the context of our unit of study in our project. All right, so aerodynamics, force, specification, thumbnail, sketch, wheelbase, axle, speed, velocity, turbulence, downforce, scale, and analysis. When you finish defining all those, write your summary today. What did you learn and what did you accomplish today? What did you complete? And then you see the stop sign, the end of day 1. So if you have any questions, reach out to your teachers. Otherwise, learn these words because they will come up throughout this unit. All right, reach out to your teachers if you have questions, and we will see you next time.